Hello viewers, I'm Andy Jones, news reporter turned talk show host, and today we're here discussing the Rock and Roll Marathon where 4 runners died. Among those runners was Michael Wang, 35, who was healthy and fit, and he did not use any steroids or other drugs. To help understand why these 4 runners, as well as runners around the country, have suffered this fate, we have here with us today Dr. Patel. Hi, thanks for being on the show.
It's great to be here, Andy. Thank you. So, shall we begin?
Sure.
While Michael was running, he drank a lot of water at each water station he stopped at. The doctors and I, who work at my practice, were volunteers for this event, and we noticed that he drank a lot of water at all of our stations. Together, we created this chart to better explain what happened. So, clearly, as this chart shows, the water levels of the 4 runners increased as time went on after the marathon. By 3 p.m., the water levels in their bodies were equal to or greater than the highest level of the normal water level in the body. It is important to stay hydrated while exercising. However, too much water can lead to water intoxication or water poisoning, which is fatal. In the body, the normal water level is 40 liters to 50 liters of water. The runners drank too much water while running in order to stay healthy and, alive. But instead they ended up with water intoxication. The water intoxication paired with the hyponatremia led to too much water entering the runner's cells. This is deadly because animal cells do not have cell walls to prevent overexpansion, which led to their cells to bursting eventually.
Wang, as well as the other 3 runners, suffered from vomiting, severe confusion, and, in the end, death by a coma. Wow, who knew water could be so deadly? But can you explain more scientifically how the water entered the cells and why that's bad?
Well, of course I can. Have you ever heard of trust transport? Well, let me explain. Let me pull out my handy-dandy whiteboard and show you.
Cellular transport is the movement of substances into and out of a cell to regulate homeostasis and ultimately hydration. pH, temperature, ions, and hydration to maintain a constant balance in the body. Active transport does require energy to occur because it occurs against the concentration gradient. This energy is provided through ATP hydrolysis. There are 2 types of active transport, channel pumps and vesicle movement. But let's not get into that because the runners died due to a type of passive transport known as osmosis. Passive transport does not require any energy or ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, to occur because it occurs due to a concentration gradient or the difference in the distribution of substances across a space. Substances will move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration to reach equilibrium, or a condition in which the concentration of a substance is equal throughout a space. There are 3 types of passive transport: diffusion, osmosis, and facilitated diffusion. Osmosis is the movement of water across a semi-permeable membrane, such as the cell membrane, in which the water can move into, out of, or both into and out of the cell at the same rate, depending on the type of solution the cells are in. If the water moves into a cell, it is a hypotonic solution. If the water exits the cell is in a hypotonic solution. If there is no net movement of the water, the cell is in an isotonic solution.
So, as I said earlier, the runners drank too much water, which led to the water intoxication. The runners also did not consume enough sodium. In this chart, it is clearly shown that the sodium levels in the blood of the 4 deceased runners decreased as time went on. A healthy level of sodium in the blood is 136 milliequivalents to 145 milliequivalents. All of the 4 runners had nearly 10 milliequivalents less than the normal level in their blood at 3 p.m. This condition, in which one has abnormally low sodium levels in their blood, is known as hyponatremia. Because of their condition, the blood is a hypotonic solution. As I explained before in my whiteboard demonstration, their blood, which is a hypotonic solution, caused the water to move into their body cells. This is because osmosis is a type of passive transport that causes water to move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. Even before equilibrium was reached, their animal cells burst because they could not hold any more water. Because of homeostasis, the 4 runners' hyponatremia worsened. One of these levels includes temperature. To maintain a close to normal body temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the body will start to sweat when it gets overheated. But through sweat, the person is releasing sodium, which causes their hyponatremia to worsen. And even more water ends up entering the cells. The runners' severe vomiting, state of confusion, and their coma were all symptoms of their condition.
Thank you for your time, Dr. Patel. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
And now with us, we have Miss Riley Bailey, the director of the marathons, who is at all of the killer marathons.
Hi, Andy. It's great to be here. This is my favorite show. Hi, Mom.
Welcome to the show. So let's cut to the chase. Did you notice a correlation between the number of participants in a marathon and the number of deaths that there were?
A common trend in the relationship between the number of runners and the number of deaths is that the less participants there were, the more deaths occurred. This is clearly shown in this graph right here. This trend is true for all but 2 marathons.
That was interesting. What can you tell me about the temperature of the race in relation to the amount of deaths?
Well, from being at all the marathons, I noticed that the higher the temperature was at the marathon, the more deaths occurred. This can clearly be seen in this graph right here. At the Rock and Roll Marathon, it was 90 degrees outside and more people died. In total, 4 people died at the Rock and Roll Marathon. Places with lower temperatures, such as Chicago, 0 deaths occurred, thankfully. The high temperature plus this level of strain running puts on the body causes the body to overheat. This leads to the runner sweating, as the body's mechanism to prevent overheating is sweating. Through his sweat, sodium is released, and on top of this, the runner decides to drink more water to stay hydrated and cool. This only leads to the water moving into the runner's cell, which then causes the cells to overexpand and therefore burst. Therefore, the temperature in which the marathon was held played a big role in the deaths of the runners. This is why from now on, marathons will be planned for weekends in which the temperature ranges from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a small solution to a big problem. No! I was just backstage and I heard that you wanted to cancel all marathons. Yeah. That's a terrible idea. The best solution would be my new drink, Electro Drink. During the 5 hours of a marathon, a runner is putting too much strain on his body in the heat, causing water intoxication and eventually hyponatremia. Electro Drink contains electrolytes, which will restore the runner's sodium levels in the blood, which is low due to sweating. Electro Drink will cause an isotonic solution in the blood, meaning that the consumed water in the body will move in and out of the cell at the same rate. This will cause no drastic change in the body's cells. This will prevent water intoxication and hyponatremia, allowing people to run marathons and live. Just look at the magnificent results in these charts above her ugly face. I know, this should be my show.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. You can leave now.
Bye. Never want to be here again.
So, viewers, what do you think? I'm right. But should we ban all marathons in the United States? Yes. Or should we employ the use of the, Electro Drink to give to all runners in marathons so they don't die? Text your response to the number on the screen. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Help me, I'm dying of hyponatremia. Someone get me Gatorade.
Here, drink this.
What's this?
It's Electro Drink. I'm Electro Woman, and I give Electro Drinks to those dying of hyponatremia so that you'll be okay.
Thank you, you saved my life.
Come on, let's go. If you're dying of hyponatremia and you want to live, pray for me to arrive with a bottle of Electro Drink. Tastier than Gatorade and even healthier. Your cells won't explode. Electrolyte or sodium levels are now restored. Just look at Aashka go. And we're back. Well, as you can see, most of you guys sided with Dr. Patel. I guess her high school education at Morris County Vocational School of Technology and the Healthcare Academy really paid off, unlike my public school. Okay, anyway. And now we have a video message that Wang's family got from their dead son, who is now in heaven. Let's take a look, shall we?
First things first, I'm love in heaven. Send this to Andy and let the whole world see it. You should know I'm drinking less water, running fast, consuming more sodium. Less water, more sodium, no hypotonic solution. My ghost cells bursting no more, cause the water ain't going in. Taking all the Electro Drink bottled, never open. Bringing the drink, we're Electro Woman, not hyponatremia fixing. You should live. I am so dead. You already know. But remember my advice while you exercise.
Well, that was something. Yeah, that was interesting. I really need to go back. All things aside, that's all we have for the show.